Have you ever felt that the words of others have hurt you more deeply than anything else? Maybe it was a conversation where someone you trusted said something that changed everything between you. Perhaps it was comments you overheard, words not meant for your ears, but that reached you anyway, leaving invisible but painful marks on your heart. Or maybe, right now, you are carrying the weight of a misunderstanding, of being unfairly judged, of feeling that no one truly understands what you are going through. If you have ever felt trapped in the middle of conflicts you didn't ask for, surrounded by tensions you didn't create, or simply exhausted from having to defend yourself over and over, I want you to know something tonight. There is a safe place you can go. There is someone who hears not only your words, but the silent cry of your heart. And tonight, in the stillness of this moment, we will discover together an ancient truth that is deeply relevant to your life today, a truth that has sustained people in their darkest moments when they felt no one else understood their pain. Psalm 120 begins with words so honest they almost hurt to hear. In my distress I cried to the Lord, and He answered me. There is no pretense here, no attempt to hide the pain or present a perfect image. It is simply the raw, sincere voice of someone who is suffering and who knows exactly where to turn with that suffering. In my distress, those three words contain worlds of experience, don't they? Distress is not just fleeting sadness. It's not just a bad day or a difficult moment. It is that deep weight that settles in your chest and seems unwilling to leave. It is that feeling of being trapped in a situation you cannot resolve on your own. Think of the moments in your life when you have experienced true distress. Perhaps it was when a close friendship ended painfully, when harsh words created distance where there had once been closeness. Maybe it was in the midst of a family conflict that seemed unsolvable, where every attempt to fix things only seemed to make it worse. Or maybe it was the moment you realized someone had been talking about you behind your back, saying things that were not true, painting a picture of you that you didn't recognize. Distress often comes with a sense of powerlessness. It is knowing that you cannot control what others say about you. You cannot force someone to understand your perspective. You cannot make people be fair or kind if they have decided not to be. And that lack of control can be frightening. It can make you feel vulnerable in ways few other things can. But look at what the psalmist does with his distress. He does not deny it. He does not pretend it doesn't exist. He does not try to be strong on his own. Instead, he cries out to the Lord. And here is the beautiful part, the part that changes everything. And he answered me. It does not say he eventually answered after a long time. It does not say maybe he answered if I was lucky. It simply says, he answered me. It is a statement of fact, a certainty born from experience. This is the first great truth we need to embrace tonight. When you are in distress, when the pain is real and deep, God is not only willing to listen, He responds. Not always in the way or timing we expect, but always in ways that are exactly what we need. He does not ignore your cry. He does not minimize your pain. He does not tell you to get over your distress without giving it the importance it deserves. He listens. He sees. He responds. And there is something profoundly comforting in knowing you don't have to come before God with everything resolved, with all the answers, with perfect faith that never wavers. You can come as you are, in your distress, with your pain, with all your questions and confusions, because God is not intimidated by your honesty. In fact, He invites it. The psalmist then names the specific source of his distress. Deliver me, Lord, from lying lips and deceitful tongues. Here we touch something nearly all of us have experienced at some point. The pain caused by false words, by deception, by things said that are simply not true. And this type of pain is particularly hard to bear because you cannot see it. You cannot show a physical wound. There is no medical diagnosis. But the damage is real, sometimes more lasting than any visible injury. Words carry incredible power. They can build or destroy. They can heal or hurt. They can give life or take it away. And when those words are false, when they are deceitful, when they are designed to harm or manipulate, the pain they cause can be devastating. Perhaps you have been the victim of rumors, stories about you that became so distorted as they passed from person to person that they no longer bore any resemblance to the truth. Or perhaps someone deliberately lied about you, misrepresented your intentions, or painted a picture of you that was completely false. The painful thing about lying lips and deceitful tongues is that they often leave you without an effective defense. You can try to explain the truth, but by then, the damage is already done. You can try to clarify, but you find that lies travel faster than the truth. And there is a fatigue that comes with this, a deep weariness from constantly having to defend yourself, from having to explain who you really are, from having to correct false perceptions over and over again. The psalmist understands this. And instead of spending all his energy trying to defend himself before people, he does something wiser. He takes his case to God. Lord, deliver me. It is a request, but it is also an act of trust. It says, God, you know the truth. You see what really happened. You understand my heart in ways no one else can. So I place my defense in your hands. And this is something we need to learn. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to respond to every criticism. You don't have to prove your worth to everyone who misinterprets you. You can bring all of that to God and trust that He, who knows the whole truth, will be your defender. This doesn't mean you never speak or clarify misunderstandings, but it does mean you do not carry the burden of convincing everyone of who you really are. God knows your heart, and in the end, that is what matters. Then the psalm poses a powerful rhetorical question. What will God give you, or what more will He add, you deceitful tongue? Sharp arrows of a warrior, with coals of juniper. This is a vivid image of the judgment that eventually comes upon those who use their words to harm. Sharp arrows and burning coals represent consequences that are both piercing and lasting. But notice that the psalmist is not calling down vengeance on his enemies. He is not devising his own way to repay the harm. He is simply acknowledging a spiritual reality. Deceitful words do not go without consequences. There is judgment, there is justice that belongs to God. And trusting this truth frees us from the need for personal revenge. When someone has hurt you with words, when you have been the victim of deception or lies, your natural instinct may be to strike back, to hurt as you were hurt, to make sure the other person feels even a fraction of the pain they caused. But the wisdom of Psalm 120 teaches us a different path. It teaches us to take our pain to God and trust that He will handle justice in ways far wiser and more effective than anything we could devise. This is not easy. Releasing the desire for revenge requires tremendous faith and self-discipline. But when you do, when you put the situation in God's hands, something is released in your heart. Bitterness begins to lose its grip. Resentment starts to dissolve, and you find that you can breathe a little more freely. The psalmist then expresses a deep lament. Woe to me that I dwell in Meshech, that I live among the tents of Kedar. Meshech and Kedar were places known for their hostile inhabitants, people far from God and His ways. By mentioning these places, the psalmist expresses what it feels like to live surrounded by conflict, to be in an environment where peace seems impossible. And perhaps you relate to this. Maybe you feel like you are living in your own Meshach or Kedar. Maybe it's your workplace, where tension is constant, where people criticize each other, where office politics make every day a battle. Or maybe it's your own family, where old conflicts never seem resolved, where every family gathering brings the anxiety of possible confrontations. Or it could be your social circle, where you feel you have to walk on eggshells, where you're never sure who is truly your friend and who is just waiting for an opportunity to judge you. Living in an environment of constant conflict is exhausting. It wears down your spirit in ways that are hard to describe. It's like always being on guard, always ready to defend yourself, never able to fully let your guard down and just be. Over time, this constant tension can change who you are. You may become more cynical, more distrustful, more closed off. You may lose that part of yourself that used to be open and trusting. The psalmist says, "Long has my soul dwelt with those who hate peace. I am peaceful, yet when I speak, they are for war." Here is deep and understandable frustration. The psalmist identifies as someone who loves peace, who seeks harmony, who would rather resolve conflicts than create them. Yet he finds himself living among people who seem to thrive on conflict, who are always ready for battle, who respond with hostility even when offered peace. If this resonates with you, if you have tried again and again to build bridges only to have them burned, if you have offered olive after olive only to have it rejected, know that you are not alone. And more importantly, it does not mean something is wrong with you. It does not mean you should stop being who you are, a person who values peace. It means you are living in a fallen world among imperfect people, and sometimes circumstances are difficult simply because they are, not because you have failed in some way. There is a temptation, when living amid constant conflict, to harden yourself, to think you need to become more aggressive, more ready to fight, quicker to strike before being struck. But Psalm 120 shows us a different path. The psalmist maintains his identity as a lover of peace, even when surrounded by those who love war. He does not allow his environment to fundamentally change who he is, and this is crucial for you too. Do not let difficult people in your life steal your essence. Do not let the conflicts you face make you bitter or hard. It is possible to maintain a soft heart even in harsh circumstances. It is possible to remain kind even when others are not. It is possible to maintain integrity even when surrounded by deceit. But, and this is important, maintaining these qualities does not mean you are naive or allow others to trample you. There is a difference between being peaceful and being passive. You can seek peace while still setting healthy boundaries. You can be kind while still defending yourself when necessary. You can have a soft heart without being weak. Wisdom lies in knowing when to speak and when to remain silent, when to fight for a relationship and when to step away for your own well-being, when to try again to build that bridge, and when to accept that some distances are necessary. And for this wisdom, you need God's guidance. You need His discernment to navigate these complex situations. Because here is the reality. Not all relationships can or should be saved. Not all conflicts can or should be resolved in this lifetime. Sometimes the healthiest option is to create distance. Sometimes seeking peace means stepping away from situations that constantly steal your peace. And that's okay. It's not a lack of faith. It's not weakness. It is wisdom to recognize that you cannot force people to change, that you cannot make others value what you value. But even when you create that necessary distance, even when you step away from toxic situations, you can do so without bitterness in your heart. You can do it with sadness for what could have been, but without resentment toward the people involved. You can let go without punishing. You can step away without revenge. And when you can do this, when you can let go gracefully, you have found deep freedom. Now, let's talk about what it means to cry out to God in the midst of these situations. Psalm 120 is not just an expression of pain, it is a model of how to bring that pain to God effectively. First, notice the honesty. The psalmist does not sugarcoat his situation. He does not try to make it sound better than it is. He does not pretend it's okay when it's not. He simply says, "I am in distress. This is painful. This is hard." God invites this level of honesty. In fact, He requires it if we are to have a real relationship with Him. You cannot have genuine intimacy with someone if you are always pretending, if you are always putting on your best face without revealing what is really going on in your heart. God does not need you to pretend. He already knows what you are feeling anyway. Your honesty is not for Him. It is to free you. When you come before God and simply let everything go, when you stop trying to be spiritual or eloquent and just express the raw cry of your heart, something happens. It is like opening a pressure valve. Everything you've been holding back, all the emotions you've been suppressing, all the tears you've been holding in, can finally come out. And in that release, in that outpouring, you begin to find relief. Second, notice the specificity. The psalmist does not just say, "God, help me with my problems." He identifies exactly what the problem is: lying lips and deceitful tongues. It is living in an environment of constant conflict. It is the exhaustion of being peaceful in a world that seems to thrive on war. This specificity matters because it helps you gain clarity on what is truly bothering you and gives direction to your prayers. We often carry this general sense of unease, this diffuse weight we cannot name exactly. But when you take the time to identify specifically what is stealing your peace, what is truly causing you distress, you can begin to pray more focused prayers. You can bring those specific things before God and ask for His help with them. Third, notice the trust. Despite all the pain expressed in this psalm, there is an underlying trust that God hears and responds. The psalmist is not praying into the void. He's not tossing words into an indifferent universe. He's crying out to someone he knows, listens, who cares, who will respond. This trust does not remove the pain, but it makes it bearable. Because when you know you are not alone in your suffering, when you know God is with you through it all, you can endure far more than you thought possible. So, how do we apply the truths of Psalm 120 to our lives today? How do we live out these principles amid our real conflicts, difficult relationships, and distressing situations? Start by recognizing that it is okay not to be okay. It is okay to admit that you are struggling, that you are in distress, that the words of others have hurt you. You do not have to fake strength you do not feel. You do not have to put on a brave face for the world. You can be honest about your pain. When you feel the weight of lying lips or deceitful tongues, when the words of others have hurt you, bring that specific pain before God. Do not just say a general prayer. Say, "God, this person said these specific things, and it hurt me in these specific ways." Name the pain, give it voice, and then leave it in God's hands. You do not have to carry the burden of proving your innocence or defending your character before everyone. God is your defender. He knows the truth. Practice letting go of the need for revenge. This does not happen all at once. It is a choice you will have to make again and again. Every time you feel the impulse to repay harm, every time you want to make sure the other person suffers as you have suffered, bring it before God. Say, "God, I want revenge, but I choose to trust in your justice instead. This repeated act of surrender will gradually weaken the grip of bitterness on your heart. Maintain your identity as someone who loves peace, even when you are surrounded by conflict. Do not allow your environment to fundamentally change who you are. If kindness is part of your nature, do not let cruel people steal that from you. If generosity is part of who you are, do not let those who have abused it turn you into someone stingy. Stay true to your values, your character, to who God created you to be. But also be wise about setting boundaries. Seeking peace does not mean allowing others to constantly hurt you. There is a difference between being peaceful and being a victim. You can love peace while still protecting yourself. You can seek harmony while still saying no to behaviors that are unhealthy. Boundaries are not a lack of love. They are an expression of wisdom and self-respect. Learn to discern when to keep trying and when it is time to create distance. Some relationships need space to heal. Some situations improve only when you step away from them. Pray for wisdom to know the difference. Ask God to show you when to persevere and when to let go. And then have the courage to act on the guidance you receive, even when it is difficult. Cultivate a life of prayer where you bring everything before God regularly. Do not wait until you are in a full-blown crisis. Make crying out to God a daily habit, a constant practice. Bring to Him small frustrations before they become greater burdens. Share with Him your difficult interactions while they are still fresh. Ask for His perspective on situations before they consume you. And when you pray, do not just ask, also listen. Because God does not only respond with actions, sometimes He responds with wisdom, perspective, or peace that settles your spirit and helps you see things differently. In the stillness after your cry, in that silent space when you have poured out your heart, remain open to what He may want to tell you. Remember that God's response is not always to immediately change your circumstances. Sometimes His response is to give you the strength to endure your circumstances. Sometimes it is to give you wisdom to navigate complex situations. Sometimes it is to bring people into your life who support and encourage you. Sometimes it is an internal change in how you see or respond to things. Stay open to the way He chooses to respond, trusting that His way is best, even when it is not what you expected. There is something deeply transformative about recognizing that you are not alone in your struggles. The psalmist, thousands of years ago, faced lying lips and deceitful tongues. He lived among those who loved conflict, while he longed for peace. And his experience was validated, recorded, and preserved in Scripture so that future generations would know. You are not alone. Others have walked this path before you. Others have felt this pain. Others have cried out to God from places of deep distress. And just as God responded to the psalmist, He responds to you. Not because you are perfect, not because you earned it, but simply because He loves you, because He sees you, because your pain matters to Him. Every tear you have shed in private, every sigh of frustration, every moment of feeling overwhelmed, He has seen them all, and He cares for each one. Tonight, as the fire burns softly and the stillness surrounds you, let this truth penetrate deeply into your heart. You can cry out to God with your distress, and He will answer. You do not have to carry the weight of hurtful words alone. You do not have to navigate complex conflicts without help. You do not have to pretend you are okay when you are not. God invites you to come as you are, with all your pain, all your confusion, all your frustration. He is not intimidated by the intensity of your emotions. He is not offended by your honesty. He never tires of listening to you. You can return to Him again and again. And each time you will find that He is there, ready to listen, ready to respond, ready to hold you. And as you rest in His presence tonight, as you allow His peace to begin calming the turbulent waters of your heart, remember this: the situations you face today are not your permanent reality. The conflicts that seem endless will find resolution, if not here, then certainly in eternity. The people who have hurt you do not have the final word on who you are. God has that word, and His word about you is love, value, beauty, and purpose. Do not let the pain of the present make you forget the promises for your future. Do not let lying voices drown out the voice of truth. Do not allow the conflict around you to steal the peace God offers, because He is greater than any situation you face. His love is stronger than any hurtful word. His truth will prevail over any lie. And one day, when you look back on this season of your life, you will see how God was at work even in the midst of distress. You will see how He used even painful experiences to form in you depth of character, compassion for others, and dependence on Him that you would not have developed otherwise. You will see how every prayer whispered in the dark was heard, how every tear was gathered, how every cry was answered in His way and in His timing. So rest tonight. Rest knowing that you have brought your distress before the one who can do something about it. Rest in the knowledge that you are not alone. You never have been, and you never will be. Rest in the promise that He answers when we cry out to Him. And let that peace, the peace that comes only from knowing God is with you and for you, fill your heart and calm your spirit. Tomorrow will bring its own challenges. There may be difficult conversations to face, complex situations to navigate, people to deal with who are hard to handle. But you do not have to face any of it alone. You can begin your day as the psalmist began his prayer, crying out to God, trusting that He will give you the wisdom, strength, and grace you need for whatever comes. And when the words of others hurt you, when you find yourself in the midst of conflicts, when you feel that distress rising in your heart, remember Psalm 120. Remember that you can cry out to God with that specific distress. Remember that He is your defender. Remember that you do not have to repay evil for evil. Remember that you can maintain your identity as someone who loves peace, even among those who love conflict. These truths are not just nice words. They are living realities that can transform how you experience life's difficulties. When you embrace them, when you live them, when you make them part of your habitual response to challenges, you will discover a source of strength and peace that circumstances cannot touch. So close your eyes for a moment, breathe deeply, and simply say, God, I cry out to You with my distress. You know every situation that is causing me pain. You see every word that has hurt me. You understand how tired I am of conflict. I come to You as I am, and I trust that You will respond. Give me Your peace. Give me Your wisdom. Give me Your strength. Help me walk through this in ways that honor You and keep me faithful to who You created me to be. You do not need to say more than that. You do not need eloquent or long words. You just need an honest heart that turns to God. And when you do, when you cry out to Him from your distress, you can trust this with absolute certainty. He will hear you. He will answer you. And His answer will be exactly what your heart needs. May you sleep tonight held by this truth. May you wake tomorrow renewed by the certainty that God is with you. And may you walk into each day knowing that no matter what happens, you have someone to cry out to, someone who always listens, someone who always responds, someone whose love for you will never, ever fail. Amen.